lights off. We're getting set to start the 45th Pepsi 400 at Daytona. Glad you're with us. Out in front of Park.
And like I said, CBP, we got guys 3 abreast already.
They're already trying to go up the middle, split cars, try their best to get to the front.
Remember the yellow line on the inside of the back straightaway. That's out of bounds, that yellow line all the way around the track.
These first laps might be the most dangerous, but believe me, they're the easiest to gain some positions.
3 deep.
And it's also probably the next couple laps the best time to be in the middle, because this is the best your tires are going to be right here. So you've got more grip than you will a little bit later, so you can run in the middle a little bit easier.
Harvick and Park single file. The race is for third. Jeff Gordon to the inside. Sterling Marlin to the outside. 24 and 40. On board Kurt Busch. 26th place is where Kurt Busch runs in these opening laps.
Jeff Gordon on board as he looks back. The rear bumper of Gordon. Right behind him is Dale Earnhardt Jr. He'd like to keep him back there the rest of the night.
Good luck.
The bottom line last night in the Busch race, it seemed like a lot of guys would run low. That seems to be the fast way right now.
On board with Robby Gordon just a moment ago, you could see just how close he was to that car directly in front of him.
And that's when it's easy to get frustrated, right where Robby's at. He just went from the high line down to the center. You can't go anywhere. And that's when you get frustrated, is when you've got a good race car, but you've got no place to go.
And check out Kurt Busch, Benny. He started back in 31st place. Last time at the start-finish line, he was 17th. Made his way halfway through to the front.
Well, he obviously found a way to go.
But he did bring his teammate, Matt Kenseth. Kenseth was still back in the 20th position, 26th. Marty, 97 so far, pretty good.
Awesome so far, BP, and that's exactly what they hoped for. Jimmie built a brand new race car for the Daytona race here in July. Didn't like what he had in Daytona in February, didn't like what he had at Talladega, so he built a brand new car for here. This is what they were hoping for, that the car would draft well. So far, so good.
Second place, Steve Park shuffled to the outside. Jeff Gordon is through, and here comes the train.
Oh, man, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. And there's just no one to help Steve Park. Sterling Marlin is finally going to come and give him some help on the outside, some drafting help, but after all, it's about 8th position.
Yep, it's a little too late. That inside line is really quick right now.
Park shuffled back to 10th from second in that half a lap. Robby Gordon trying to work his way through. Matty's up to 13th.
And he was somewhere, Alan, coming down the front stretch, and owner Richard Childress told him not to go. He said, do not get caught up in the middle tonight. Be patient. Work the outside lane. That's what worked for Busch Series star Johnny Sauter in the RCR car last night, but Robby got caught in the middle like he is right now.
Well, I don't know if he's caught or not, man. He's been making that middle work for him. He's made a lot of positions up in the center, so.
And there he dove to the inside. Maybe he was heeding the advice of his car owner, Richard Childress.
Yeah, he'll go high here and pick up a couple cars right now. He's got a lot of momentum.
Saw Mark Martin that Robby Gordon moved out from behind. He's working with his Roush teammate Kurt Busch as they slice through traffic. But Matt Kenseth has not been able to stay right with him. Kenseth back in 21st. Busch and Martin in 13th and 15th. Now 13th and 14th as Mark's back under Robby Gordon again. Bill, Steve Park sliding back.
sliding back, but probably pretty pleased at this point. Their goal, I talked to Steve this afternoon, he said just get through the early laps. We talked about what happened at California. He said that thought never entered his mind. Car push it up the track a little bit, cannot get down to the inside. They want to try and get him down to the inside. But Park told me once he and Harvick got him through the first couple of laps, he, and he thought a lot of other people, might feel a lot better.
That was a close one there.
That was close.
That was close.
That collective intake of air where Benny, Wally, and Allen all jumping out of their seats at once.
Robby had to try to get up in front of Jamie McMurray. Couldn't get it done. Had to get out of the throttle, and because of that, he's lost a lot of ground.
On board with Mike Wallace, the Army car, and where is he, Allen?
19th.
19th, started 23rd. Robby Gordon, he's back in the middle again.
Coming back.
Now he's getting behind his teammate, though.
Yeah, Robby's got a good race car. If he can get somebody to work with him right now, I think he'll take it to the front.
And Steve Park is Richard Childress' teammate you're looking ahead at. A little bit of glare there off turn 4.
A little bit, but it used to be terrible about 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but this is fine.
Ooh, pushing that yellow line.
And Dale Earnhardt Jr. looking on the high side for second place around Jeff Gordon. Ken Schrader trying to go with Jr.
If he can pull this off, that's going to be impressive.
Not going to pull it off.
No, it doesn't look that way. Elliott Sadler in that 38 car just kind of pushed Jeff Gordon by Jr.
Nice run in the early laps for Elliott, started 9th.
And now Junior's hung on the outside as his drafting teammate or drafting mate, Kenny Schrader, dove to the inside.
Bobby Labonte passed him. Tony Stewart's up there. Bobby Labonte and Tony Stewart working nose to tail.
And Junior's going to need Michael. He's looking for Michael that bear right now because these guys know that if they're going to beat Earnhardt and Waltrip, they got to separate.
Michael's back in 10th spot. Ricky Craven trying to get up behind Junior.
182, 183 on Dale Jr., 184.
The car goes in the corner and the springs start collapsing. That's when you start picking up, you start losing some miles per hour.
But not much.
About 5 miles per hour, you're right, not much.
Orange car you're looking at, Ricky Craven. Finish.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just talking, you look at the brake now. I don't see that light coming on. Now, you won't use the brake because you have to use it to slow the car down. What you're going to do is when you get real, real tight in the pack, you may have to use that brake, you know, and so you'll see that brake light come on and off when you're tapping the brake if you're in a tight bunch right there.
Never backing off the throttle,
just riding the brake a little bit.
Now there's Michael Waltrip getting alongside Dale Earnhardt Jr. See if Jr. can find a way to squeeze in line behind him.
He wants to, but is Sterling going to allow it?
Oh, that's tight.
Or maybe in front of him.
Here comes. Now, a 31 will jump out and follow that 8 car.
Well, we've seen some teammates working together already.
Yeah, here comes that 31-yard car. Here comes Robby Gordon trying to help Junior out and himself.
And himself, right.
Junior's going to get behind Michael right there. All right, so the two guys that have dominated the races here at Daytona over the last couple of years now hooked up nose to tail. We'll see if they can make any progress. It's Independence Weekend, NASCAR on NBC.
We got the 40 and the 42 behind you in the 97. Clear, all clear. outside. Still got the 40 on the bottom trying to help. Still outside. Now you clear, all clear, all clear. Pretty tight. Info. Go, let's see up first stop. He's going to drop to the bottom with that 20, but you're still clear. Back inside now, inside. Inside.
Kevin Harvick is the leader of the Pepsi 400, but it's the Dale Earnhardt Incorporated duo that is on the move.
And they've gone to the outside trying to get by Tony Stewart. Good bit on the inside. Canby on the outside. They have some help. Oh, the 42 car goes up the block. Jimmie McMurray.
Everybody's got help, 2 by 2. 40 will jump up here with us.
Isn't it?
Yeah. And Elliott Sadler in the 38. All the look at this. Michael Waltrip 3 deep to the outside. Now pulls it back in behind Elliott Sadler.
The 97 to 31 are in your
Yeah, you got
mirror.
something for us from Earnhardt Jr.'s pick.
Well, Alan, Dale Earnhardt Jr. got trapped back in traffic and thought he was going to hook up with the 32 of Ricky Craven, but Craven couldn't hang on. So in that traffic, Jr. was like a hunting dog looking for the 15 of Michael Waltrip, and they found it, and now they are marching their way toward the front. This is the combination to beat right now. It is 41 cars out there against those two. Look at the block on Michael there as he dives to the inside. Snyder.
One of the goals for most of the teams was to keep those two teams apart. Obviously, they were looking for each other. Michael Waltrip had said nothing on the radio, but he told me this afternoon that the scenario he liked was Junior pushing him. He said, by myself, I can't pass Junior, but I think by ourselves, he could pass me if he wanted to.
Marty, another set of teammates that were looking for each other. The Gibbs guys, Tony Stewart and Bobby Labonte. Tony kept moving around in front of Junior and Michael, trying to get the 18 of Labonte up to him. Now they've hooked up. Tony says, let's just stay in line and ride this all the way to the front.
They were separated by Michael Waltrip when he passed Bobby Labonte and then Tony Stewart a little while ago. Now Robby Gordon is between Stewart and Bobby Labonte. That's some pretty serious blocking going on there a minute ago, trying to keep Earnhardt Jr. and Waltrip back, huh?
Yeah, and that's what these guys have to do. I think they're tired of it, and they got to keep those guys separated. And obviously on their side of it, Michael and Dale know if those two guys get together, they're going to go to the front and probably stay there.
And they're going, right now it's a battle for the third position between Michael Waltrip and Elliott Sadler in the 38.
Still inside, he's got a big push coming from the 97.
And they're doing it the hard way. They're going on the outside.
From Michael Waltrip's car. You know, in the last 10 races run using the carburetor restrictor plates here at Daytona and at Talladega, 10 races between Michael Waltrip and Dale Jr., they've won 8 of them. Junior 5, Waltrip 3.
So what are you saying? They're pretty good on these tracks?
I'm saying that if I were calling a favorite, it'd be one of those two cars.
Jimmie Johnson currently in second spot, looks back. Here comes Michael.
You know, here's the funny thing. We've been talking about these guys all thinking in their minds they needed to do what they could do to keep the 15 and the 8 back. 15 and the 8 are moving. Look at the guys lined up in that outside lane behind him now. Okay, if you're going to get to the front, we're going to hitch on to that train.
Sure. I mean, you're going to be selfish on this deal. If you think you're going to pull up 5 or 6 positions by getting on their bumper, they're going to do it.
So Kevin Harvick and Jimmie Johnson continue to try and hold off Michael Waltrip and Dale Earnhardt Jr. 18 of 160 laps are done.
So there, so big push comes from the 97. still there. Most of the help still up top. Clear the 24, all clear. Still all clear. Back inside. Just there by nose. He's there. There, buddy. Still there. If we get out front, we'll be perfect. A little bit tight here behind. Yeah, full, buddy. You're doing a great job with it. Keep working. That temp's looking good. Before we pit. 13 more. About 13 more. Behind me there, Ron. 20 cars, 20. Cars the next car behind him, but he's 3 cars back.
Just completed 50 miles of the Pepsi 400. Here's our Stacker 2 track fact. Changing this race to a night race. 1998 really has made a difference. It's much more enjoyable for the fans, much more comfortable for them to be in the grandstands.
I'll tell you what, it was miserable walking through the garage here today because it was so hot here at the Speedway. And it used to be the same way when they raced in the afternoon. But the lights, you're right, it's so comfortable here now.
A lot more relief from inside those race cars, too. A lot cooler than race cars at night.
Kevin Harvick is the race leader. Jimmie Johnson following him, and Elliott Sadler running third. Michael Waltrip and Jeff Gordon round out the top 5. Though we've used the word drafting a lot so far today, it has nothing to do with picking players for the ball team. As we go inside our Home Depot virtual garage, it's all about air.
Here we go. We're going to try to show you what it's all about. Here's one car going through the air. You can see the air coming over the back of the car. Kind of drops down over the spoiler. When you get another car come up behind you, that air goes over both cars. It takes the air off the rear spoiler of the front car, and it punches a big hole, and you got more momentum. You look at the guy on the inside, he's pushing all the air, where those other 2 cars are not pushing as much, so they're going to draft on by. You get 8 or 9 of those guys in a line, you can imagine how it busts the air.
Change of position in that lead group. Tony Stewart just shuffled his way around Jeff Gordon and picked up the 5th position. As you look at Kevin Harvick, who's led every lap so far. At NBCSports.com, we'll give you previews and predictions on each Winston Cup race from Old BP. And I'll throw in a column here and there about those who are streaking and struggling, opinions on different issues in the sport. NBCSports.com is where you'll find it.
All right, Michael going back to the top of the racetrack, trying to pick up Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s teammate in that red 8 car.
And picking up some help from Stewart momentarily. Which lane's it going to be now? Michael moves to the inside in front of Elliott Sadler.
Tell you what, those guys are doing a good job tonight keeping Michael and Junior separated.
While we're watching this for the lead, couple of updates. Rusty Wallace started 42nd. He's up to 15th. Jeff Burton started in 36th position, and he's made his way up to the 11th spot. Matt Kenseth started 37th. He's up to 14th. And Kurt Busch, 31st to 8th. Look at the Roush teammates.
They have worked together, and they're going towards the front. Dave, what's going on with Jimmie Johnson?
Well, BP, I just checked with his crew chief, Chad Knaus, and asked him if he was concerned that Jeff wasn't running with Jimmie right now. And he said, no, not at this point. He's running up front where we need him to be. He's just getting a little bit tight off of turn 2 at this point. Marty?
Dave, Elliott Sadler's car working very well right now. We've talked about how pit strategy could play a big role in tonight's race. And when it comes to that, that is going to be to the detriment of Robert Yates Racing. The 38 and the 88 cannot go far on fuel. The most they can go is 36 laps, Bill.
Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s car is tight. That's why he's having some trouble in this traffic. He's also driving with blisters on his hands. Even though he wore gloves in the Busch race last night, he still has blisters and calluses on his hand from that race. Tony Eury Jr. said that's really not a problem, but what might be, Jr. just called it on the radio, says, I think I have something on the grill that could lead to an overheating problem.
We'll keep an eye on that for sure. Now, the first round of pit stops will be coming up somewhere around lap 35. Remember the 13.5-gallon fuel cells used here at Daytona. So let's take a break here. We'll come back, get set up for those ever-important visits to pit road. Kevin Harvick leads the Pepsi 400. You're watching NASCAR on NBC.
31 on the bottom with you. Everybody seems to be single file running the very high line up against the wall, except for the very back. Inside has no help. Three wide. You have help. The inside 2 lines have no help. Now 2 wide. Clear.
massive Daytona International Speedway. Tonight's side of the Pepsi 400. It's 45th running. Better than 160,000 on hand watching the drivers of the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. Our Wendy's race menu, it's on to the Windy City next weekend, Sunday 2:30 Eastern Time here on NBC. Continue to follow the race for the championship in Loudon, New Hampshire, Pocono, Pennsylvania, Indianapolis for the Brickyard 400.
Have more help than the inside.
Is that you I heard go?
Yeah. It was me going, Larry Ford slid through his pit there a little bit.
Coming up on green flag pit stop shortly. Kevin Harvick, the race leader. Jimmie Johnson is second, but Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Michael Waltrip and Tony Stewart really had kind of a little tussle going for third, fourth, and fifth.
2 by 2 all the way back now.
Michael Waltrip is going inside, outside, and so is Junior. They never can get hooked up right.
Just so you know, when I say, we'll have it. Here it is. See, you lock them tires up. What I was talking about earlier, too, in the beginning of the show, yeah. But that cost a lot of time.
One hop of the front tire carrier. Good that we can offer that.
3 laps, bud. 3 laps.
Coming up to put a lap on the Stacy Compton car, the Ford machine, who's really been off the pace basically since the start of the race. You have a tech inspection problem. You're thrashing around the last minutes before the green just to get the car into the race. It's easy to perhaps have not everything be perfectly aligned like it should be.
Doing something.
Okay.
Take a little bit longer to get things done.
Yeah. What are we going to see? 2 tires, 4 tires? What do you think?
I think we're going to see 2.
I guess it's 2.
On most of the leaders. We'll see here in just 12 laps.
BP was talking about earlier how this is real important right here. These pit stops are real important. It's important if they come in under the green, this thing stays green. You're going to see a lot of guys gaining and losing a lot of time getting to pit lane.
If you watch a NASCAR Busch Series last night, you saw cars running 50, 60 laps on fuel. Those cars had a 22-gallon fuel cell. The gas tanks in these cars tonight are about 13 gallons, give or take a half gallon. And so therefore, that's why these cars can only run about 35, 40 laps.
And the reason for that was to break up the big packs all the time.
Make the pit more often to try to break the packs up.
Right.
Rusty Wallace really on the charge in the early laps. He started this race in 38th spot. Dave, he's in 8th place.
Well, and he's been a little bit tied off of turn number 2. They're going to make an air pressure and wedge adjustment that when he comes in. But other than that, no complaints right now. Matt?
Dave, Kevin Harvick never said a word on the radio until lap 27 when he said his car was free. His team is talking about what adjustments to make on their stop. Now that's the big question. When do they pit? They would like to pit on lap 38, maybe even stretch it to 39. The question, will they get any takers? They may have to back it up. To lap 37, Bill.
Jeff Gordon will be in next time. He'll pit next time. Jeremy Mayfield on pit road. Got 2 right side tires. He's on his way. Robbie Loomis told me this morning they'd be one of the first cars in. Expected to be on lap 34. Marty.
The DEI cars will pit on lap 37. Bill, Michael Waltrip says he's a little bit tight, but he wants to leave the chassis alone. Very happy with it. Very frustrated they cannot hook up together and get to the front.
Here comes another group of the leaders to pit road.
Here's what we're talking about, locking those tires up, coming to pit lane. That's going to cost these guys a lot.
A lot of them boiling the tires. Rusty Wallace is in, Jeff Gordon's in, Elliott Sadler, Ricky Craven, Bill.
Well, this is the big pack right here. Jeff Gordon on pit road. His car's been a little tight. No chassis adjustment. Just enough fuel to fill that small cell. They're going to take 4 tires on this stop. Marty.
Kurt Busch speeds off pit road. Pretty happy with his race car. A little bit tight. Half a pound into the right rear, Bill. Trying to loosen him up, Dave.
Rusty Wallace now getting that wedge adjustment. 4 tires for him. Right in front of him, Ryan Newman pits as well. He also gets a chassis adjustment and 4 tires. Rusty will lead out. His teammate Ryan Newman will have to follow behind.
Boy, it's going to be interesting to see some of these guys like Johnny Benson in the 10 car. He was really boiling the smoke off those tires getting to pit road. They only changed 2. We'll see if those left side tires are in decent enough shape to keep going. Jimmie Johnson's in. Kyle Petty, Jimmy Spencer, Todd Bodine. Dave?
Well, Jimmie Johnson had been radioed in by Chad Knaus. He's doing a great job. Just keep it going. The car was just a little bit tight for Jimmie, but he was still staying up there in the front. So they're going to make a 4-tire change. Following suit with everybody else. They were talking about 2, but now that everyone else has taken 4, they're going to do the same. Crew coming around to the left side. Windshield is clean. He is out of here.
Side, clear.
Going off pit road with Jimmie Johnson.
Landing the interior left side on the yellow line. Right there, buddy.
Here we come. The DEI cars of Waltrip and Junior coming in together.
Remember, we talked about them smoking those front tires when they came in last night's NASCAR Busch Series race. That was a pretty smooth stop, Marty.
And they warned Michael Waltrip about that. Take care of the tires. Do not flat spot them coming to pit road. This will be a 2-tire stop for the 15 team. A little bit tight. No adjustments, Bill.
Chassis adjustment on the 8-2 right side tires. They warned Junior not to slide the tires. He's on his way.
And the 18 Jack Manor tire carrier had to jump out of the way. Matt.
BP, a 4-tire change on Sterling Marlin's Dodge. A little bit of trouble on the left front. The fuel cell's packed full. Tony Stewart's in. A slow stop for Stewart. The car has stalled. They're trying to get it refired. They're pushing the car down pit road. The car still has not fired. Tony Stewart finally pulls away as Kevin Harvick is on his way in with his teammate. The 29 is in. They wanted to try to pit with the 8 and 15. Harvick in. This should be a 2-tire change. Todd Barrier called for 2-tire change. You can hear him gunning the engine, packing the fuel cell full of fuel. To Bill.
Pole sitter Steve Park on pit road. Chassis adjustment, 4 tires. His car's been tight. He's got fuel. He's on his way to Burns.
Mark Martin trying to make up some time. He will take on only 2 tires and pack the fuel cell full.
The race lead belongs to Ward Burton for the moment. He has not yet stopped, so he's out front.
And Tony Stewart evidently ran out of fuel. They were putting gasoline in the carburetor. Davis, that one happened. He run out of fuel.
Benny, he ran out of fuel making his way to pit road. That's why you saw them trying to fire the engine in his pit stall.
Wow. All right, here comes Ward Burton onto pit road. Tony Stewart's going to be about a half a lap behind the pack. 22 coasting in. 22's coasting in. He's out of fuel.
And that's just the most recent of his problems. He's got an overheating problem. 270 degrees last time we heard. Around to the right side. They got it refired. Now it shuts off again. They're going to have to push it. He's got it. He's on his way. Tough day for Ward, and it's early.
See, I'm not sure when Tony ran out of fuel, but with Ward running out of fuel coming into the pit, they had time to get the thing fired up right away. Where Tony's, it didn't look like they even...
He was out up in turn 3.
It seems like they took a long time to try to get it.
I looked up and I saw him off the pace in turn 3. Let me rephrase that. Matt?
This morning when I talked to Greg Zipadelli, the crew chief, and Dave Rogers, the engineer, they had 2 different calculations from the final practice session. One, which was very good, and one, which wasn't. They didn't know which one to believe. They were looking to maybe go in between, but it bit them.
So Tony Stewart is now back in 41st place. Kevin Harvick is the leader, but look who's changed positions on the pit stops.
Junior and Michael Waltrip, 2nd and 3rd, the 2-tire stop. That's what they did all during the Daytona 500. That's why it was such a shock to me when those guys started pitting and changing 4 tires.
Yeah, that me too, BP. I was surprised about that. Obviously, Robby took 4 tires because he's right up there behind Michael Waltrip right now. Matt Kenseth.
And Michael and Junior both took 2 tires. Junior's crew got him out ahead of Michael's.
Right.
2nd place, chasing Kevin Harvick in the Pepsi 400 at Daytona.
together.
Kansas make up his mind.
Michael Waltrip out from behind Junior.
Now, Robby Gordon's going to dive on the
Lowe's
outside and
here
go
for a
with
second.
Junior,
It's gonna be
along
inside,
with Matt
inside.
Kenseth.
It'll be inside. Got the 31 coming with you, though. 31's with you with the 17.
Okay, Junior's teammates helping Gordon's teammates.
Yeah. Richard Childress is probably talking to Scott Robby and saying,
Go with the 29. You know, funny dynamic between Michael and Junior. To me, I've seen this play out already tonight. They know
from
they've got
Daytona
to be
International
the other way.
Speedway.
They can be dedicated to pushing them to the finish all they want, but their sort of rule between them is the one that's in front is the one that's going to go, and they're fighting hard to be in front of the other guy.
Richard Childress right there. Ready to make the call if he has
So
it.
there you get the 31 coming to help. You're clear, all clear, all clear.
There's the call.
Talked with Richard on our coverage
Clear
throughout the
two
weekend
back with
about
our
the
2x2. Got the
situation
48,
between Robby
17,
Gordon and Kevin Harvick,
97
and
on
he
the
said,
bottom, and up top you
I
got the
went to
31
Montana.
and the
I let them work it
01.
out.
Michael thought that 31 was going to dive down there with the 29.
All right, let's check out our Cingular Race Talk poll tonight. Has to do with the race for the championship. Who will overtake Matt Kenseth for the Winston Cup title? Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Bobby the Body, or no one? There are the instructions on how to enter your vote. We'll give you the results a little bit later on in our coverage of this Pepsi 400. Cingular car with Robby Gordon settling in line now in 6th position. Matt Kenseth, NASCAR Winston Cup Championship leader in that black number 17, started this race in 37th.
No
He's up
help.
to 5th.
Well, we saw the Busch
848
race last night. There's a lot of cars sliding,
Clear, all
sliding
clear.
around. And some of these guys talked about they wouldn't have a good car for qualifying. They wanted a car that stuck well because the track was going to be slick. Matt Kenseth was one of those guys.
He chose to bring a car here that would be a little bit slow qualifying, but would handle well. And it looks like it's working perfectly for him. His strategy, I mean.
Just to get back an update, the first driver that's got 4 tires on the pit stops is Elliott Sadler, running in 11th now. All the top 10 got just 2 tires on their stops. Scoring serial on Matt Kenseth, a nice steady march to the front.
We're looking inside, inside.
Jimmie Johnson under Earnhardt Jr.
They're not very content staying single
Clear
file
right
up
there, all clear.
which is good.
Clear on inside, inside.
I don't know that Junior's
Back to
car
clear,
is
all
not
clear.
running warm. We heard a report earlier that he might have some water temperature problems. That might be one reason that he's diving out to the outside of the corners to try to get a little air through the grill of that car to cool it down.
It's that yellow line with the block. Waltrip goes way off the top of the track.
Clear, all clear.
Johnson to block, Earnhardt Jr. to follow. This is great, isn't it?
Good stuff.
He's got the fender in there. It's for 2nd place.
17 with you,
Jimmie,
17
don't
with
turn
you,
left
with the
now.
31's with him.
Wanted to.
Clear the
Yeah,
48,
he
all
really
clear,
wanted to.
all clear.
Harvick to block. You know, after the pit stops, the field had really spread out. Look how the draft is coming all back together. Everybody in the back there getting lined up single file. They've closed right up on these front runners. Matt Kenseth on Jimmie Johnson. 4th place.
And guess who's back in town? Robby Gordon.
No help, buddy. One more inside.
Going both directions.
One more inside. You'll be clear low behind him. Clear low.
Jimmie Johnson was running 2nd just a couple of laps ago. Not anymore.
So many guys, the teams tonight, because of the specialness of this night race at Daytona, bring out the different paint jobs. Yes, that is a different look to Kurt Busch's car than we normally see. Well, how about Earnhardt Jr.?
Just want to update that paper on the grill thing. No big issue. Not there anymore. No temperature problem. So that's not an issue with the A-car, BP.
Okay, good.
We're monitoring Robby Gordon's radio and his communication back and forth with spotter and pit crew. Heard this a minute ago.
We're work that bottom when it opens up like it did a while ago. You'd have been stacked there. Be smart, Robby. Use your head. Thank you, buddy.
Simple. Just see where we can work them at, you know?
Voice of Richard Childress, the owner. I think it's a
And
bit of
who was first at the time when he said that?
Kevin Harvick.
Yeah, exactly.
The call was made.
The call was made. I knew it.
I'll tell you what, there's some serious blocking going on. Michael Waltrip talked about this at the end of the NASCAR Busch Series race last night. He said when you're running second, it's almost harder than leading because you're trying to find a way to pass the leader, but any move you make, you got to keep the other guy from filling the hole underneath you.
You're looking in the mirror as much as you're looking out the front windshield.
52 of 160 laps are complete. Kevin Harvick has led almost all of them so far. You're watching NASCAR on NBC.
Right here with the 31 car. Outside, outside. Still outside, outside. Outside.
Michael Waltrip just made a breathtaking move on Kevin Harvick, but Harvick didn't want to give it up easily.
He fought hard, but not much he could do about it because Michael had that run, and Jimmie Johnson came along with Michael to take over second. Junior back in fourth.
Watch this as they come from the start-finish line and head down towards turn number one.
Michael gets a pretty good run on Kevin. He's got Dale behind him. Harvick moves up the track, and boy, Michael just cut right underneath that bumper, but he had the momentum. Now you watch here, Harvick tries to keep him pinned down a little bit, but it wasn't enough.
So Waltrip becoming just the third different driver to lead this race tonight. Kevin Harvick has led 53 of the 56 laps so far. Trivia question, shall we?
Okay.
Test your knowledge. Who competed in the most races before his first NASCAR Winston Cup win?
Well, I know the answer. Do you know why?
I know the answer too.
Okay,
They'll show him.
Michael Waltrip. He won on his 463rd race.
They Daytona 500 2001. Since then, he's won the Pepsi 400 here, 2002, and the 2003 Daytona 500. Michael Waltrip tonight trying to become only the second man in this Speedway's 45-year history to win 3 straight races here. Cale Yarborough did it with this race in 1967, the Daytona 500 in 68, and again the 400 in 68. Not been done before, not been done since.
Matt Kenseth, 17 car. Robby Gordon, the 31 car. Kenseth, the 17 car, the Winston Cup Championship leader.
Got his teammate on his bumper, Mark Martin.
Kenseth started 37th. Mark Martin started 33rd. They're running 6th and 7th right now. Michael Waltrip is out in front of the Pepsi 400 at Daytona. You're watching NASCAR on NBC.
Daytona on a spectacular night. The Pepsi 400 has been a part of Racing Americana for 45 years, and it just continues to grow and get bigger and bigger. Michael Waltrip going for his 3rd straight win at this track out front. We've been waiting since Homestead in November to do this, so it's time to take you through the field, and we'll start with the 15 car. Let's go down pit road and get that report from Marty Snyder.
Michael Waltrip is glad to finally be out front. Billy struggled to get to the front. He hasn't had his teammate Dale Earnhardt Jr. pushing him there all night long. We're not saying much about the car right now. Pitting on lap 79, Dave.
Jimmie Johnson's crew gave him 4 tires and made an adjustment to fix a little bit tight condition when he was in last time. Now, even though he's running second, the car is skaty. We got a spin on the track with Dave Blaney.
Off turn 2. Looks to be a 1-car incident, and the caution flag is out for the first time in the race. Dave Blaney was running in 26th place at the time of his spin.
And it doesn't look like there's any damage to the car.
If he stays out of the grass, he's got a left front flap. That probably happened after he had the tires locked up going 180.
And that pavement that Blaney spun down into was a safety feature added here at the Speedway several years back. Before a spin like that, he'd have been in the grass and probably upside down.
Yep, you're right, because that pavement, at least the car stays flat when you're spinning on the pavement, but when you get in that grass and you get sideways on the grass, it usually hooks the wheels and you start rolling. Check's brake.
Guilty.
And turn 2 is a place where you find yourself pushing really hard, especially this time of the race, and if you're down on the bottom, the car will quit turning coming out there when you're close to another car. So Jack may have lost the air off in front of his car, which sent him up the racetrack into the left rear corner of Dave Blaney's car.
Pace car's off. Pace car's off. So I have a lap car hauling ass underneath you here. Just a second. Stay up. All right, you're all clear. All clear.
Green in the Pepsi 400. Elliott Sadler, the leader, did in fact just get 2 tires on this stop. The people chasing him got 4, and here come Jimmie Johnson and Kevin Harvick.
And look at Harvick just drive to the outside, try to drive to the outside of Jimmie Johnson. Didn't quite work.
No help. No help, BP. He doesn't have anybody with him yet.
Sadler, Johnson, Harvick, top 3, then Earnhardt Jr., Waltrip, Martin, Jeff Burton, Terry Labonte, Kurt Busch, and Kenny Wallace. Those the top 10. Running order really jumbled up by the different choices of tire strategy on this set of stops. Bill?
Well, on the Discover Card Countdown to Green, we talked about how popular Dale Jr. has become not only to race fans, but to corporate America as well. Well, during that caution, he apparently didn't feel that way, making some moves out on the racetrack with Michael trying to get back to the front. But he said he felt like a one-man band, that he didn't have a friend within 100 miles. He's about to find some in a minute.
Jimmie Johnson to the lead. Earnhardt Jr. and Harvick race for second. Michael Waltrip right behind, which Lane will be big. He's trying to get behind Jr.
Yep, got it.
And here comes Mark Martin. You know, Mark very openly discusses that he just doesn't care for this kind of racing, the restrictor plate brand. But his record here shows that he has success. Last 3 finishes at Daytona, 6th, 5th, 5th.
And Mark's one of the smoothest guys on any kind of a racetrack. He's also one of those guys that you love to draft with because you know he's not going to ever do anything stupid. So if you just be patient and you put your front bumper on his rear bumper, he usually finds the front.
Junior to the outside of Harvick for second.
And Michael is
that
going to
was
go
close.
with him.
That was close.
Robby Gordon and Mark Martin. And for the lead.
Well, Junior has Johnson cleared, but is he going to stay out there and wait for Michael, or is he going to go down the inside?
I think he's going to be in the middle.
I think he's going to take the middle.
He's trying to wait. Harvick's going to get in behind Michael. Jimmie, got bad news for you.
See ya.
Yeah. Robby Gordon, Kurt Busch.
Uh-oh.
Watch that yellow line.
That was close.
That was real close.
Yikes.
Johnson goes up the racetrack right almost into Mark Martin. And here's Harvick trying to go on the outside of Michael.
Oh, whoa, who's that shot out of traffic? Down below the line, Steve Park and Jimmie Johnson. Kurt Busch was given a warning about going down below the line. Wondered if they confused his car for Steve Park. They kind of look alike this weekend.
I think that was from back there.
That was on the backstretch.
Yeah. Thank you. Still fighting it out for second.
I tell you, that 29 Goodrich car is a very good race car because he almost took over second spot by himself.
Yeah, I agree, BP. And that there again, I think if 31 ever gets with Kevin, those guys will be, and there you go. Robby is now behind the 29 car. So we'll see if those guys stick together and make it work.
All right, let's go back and look at some of this wildness a moment ago off turn 4.
Robby went up the racetrack.
Oh, my goodness. Did you see it? Oh, my goodness. 3 or 4 cars completely sideways.
Trouble off turn 2. Is this the big wreck?
Sure is.
Robby Gordon, Steve Park.
See Ricky Craven.
Is that Kurt Busch?
Kurt Busch sitting sideways across the track through the smoke.
He just lost it.
Boy.
And he didn't have a car close enough to really get the air off the spoiler, so it wasn't that.
I'll be really interested to hear from Kurt when he comes back from the medical center because that was unusual.
And Robby Gordon, no place to go. He's got his load as best he can, but
and he gets hit.
Gets hit from Mike Wallace and behind.
Now we saw a little bit of this last night in the Busch race. We had some guys that cut their tires, and tires went down, and we saw some spin outs like that. But fortunately, last night they didn't collect 10 or 12 cars. All those tires all look up.
There's our virtual restart line. The restart rule, the big white block, is that the leader should restart the race in the vicinity of that area of the racetrack.
And any leader who doesn't so would be black flag, subject to be black flag by NASCAR.
While they get up to speed, let's update you on a couple things. Several of the front runners did not pit under this caution. You heard Bill reporting on Dale Jr., Michael Waltrip, Elliott Sadler, Kevin Harvick, Mark Martin did not pit under the caution flag. Several did, including Jeff Burton. He's in 9th place. He heads the guys who stopped. That's where they'll take this restart. A number of cars came in and topped off the fuel on the 1-to-go signal. Terry Labonte, Greg Biffle, Ricky Rudd, Ward Burton, Ken Schrader, Kyle Petty. Kurt Busch has been in several times, as you can expect, for repairs. So that's the pit strategy situation.
Matt, what's going on with the 29 car?
Benny, a lot of debate under that caution for Kevin Harvick. They were doing the math. They needed one more lap under the caution, and they would have been able to make it on one more stop. Kevin wanted to chance it. Todd Berrier said, Kevin, a lap is still a lap. We'll never make that up. Bill?
Jeff Gordon didn't care about fuel mileage. He thought he might have left front damage, so he came down pit road, got 4 tires and fuel. Robbie Loomis, his crew chief, said the car is fine. That's showing that they might have some Daytona luck going for the 24 tonight.
A little draft going with Rusty Wallace there.
Yeah, he had Rusty had a pretty good run going. I think Jeff saw that and dove down and got the push. Pretty good push, too.
Great push, and I can't believe Kenseth just drove up on the outside of Dale Jarrett up in turn 3. That's the black car on the outside of the UPS car. Now he's got some help from the 12 of Ryan Newman. Hard to believe Ryan Newman's still running. We're halfway. He's had terrible luck at the super speedways this year here in Talladega.
Yeah, remember he got upside down here during the Daytona 500 at Talladega. Was involved in that nasty wreck early.
Michael Waltrip told me in the garage area earlier today that he felt like fuel mileage might decide the winner. And guess what? If this thing goes green flag the rest of the way, it will decide the winner. And it will be none of these guys you're seeing on the camera right now.
Those guys that came in right there and topped off.
That's right.
Speaking of Michael Waltrip, we intercepted this from his radio transmission a minute ago.
When it comes down to it, Mike, do you care who's behind you? Yeah, I care a little bit about everything. Only thing is, in order to pass somebody, if you lay back to get help, they just pass you. So the only person that's ever pushed me around anybody is Jigger, because he's my teammate. And I've pushed him to this lead, so if I get ahead of him, I don't think they can beat me, and we'll just have to see what happens.
Well, I think with Kevin Harvick back here, he's not going to sit and ride and wait.
No.
You know, he wants to get to the front. He knows he's got to get to the front. So I think the first opportunity he sees, he's going to try to make a move, and hopefully he'll have, well,
there he goes.
There you go.
Harvick to the top. Who's going with him?
He's got to have some help. I'm surprised that Elliott or some of these guys aren't going with that 29 car.
Elliott Sadler, Jimmie Johnson, all choosing to stay tucked up behind Michael Waltrip.
Everyone is choosing the DEI car to hang with.
I don't understand that. Marty, you got Robby.
I have found Robby Gordon. What was your perspective on what happened, Robby?
Kind of restrictor plate racing, you know. Kurt lost it in front of me. I had it saved. You know, not that I ever got loose or anything. I just kind of was slowing down with him, and someone creamed me from the back. So that's what I hate about these places. You know, you can kind of be a victim of circumstance at times. We were just riding around. We're going to lose a lot of points. It's going to be a disappointing week for us.
Did you see a tire go down on Kurt's car?
No, I didn't see a tire go down. I just saw him get on the apron. There was nothing shredding at that point, but is that what happened?
That's what he said, yes.
That or he drove on the apron, one or two.
All right, see you in Chicago.
Bye.
Robby Gordon out of this Pepsi 400.
Boy, they just hung out Kevin Harvick.
Boy, they did.
How about a little 3-wide for you?
That's good. And there's Jeff Burton in 99 car. He stopped. I think he can make it the rest of the way.
On to one more pit stop.
Yep, one more stop. Well, the leaders are going to have to stop twice.
Burton has lost some ground since the last restart, BP. About 6 positions. Let's see, Harvick shuffled back to 5th. You know, the storyline of this race is it's unfolding in my head so far. The fact that Harvick, Earnhardt Jr., and Michael Waltrip appear to have the 3 fastest cars.
Yes.
Harvick has been hard to pass when he's been out in front. And Michael Waltrip, every time he gets out in front, They come down pit road, and his own teammate is beating him off pit road, and that's the one car he's having to race the hardest.
Yeah. So, and again, Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s crew has been under a lot of heat, a lot of pressure the last year because a couple of times they failed him when it come time to win the race. Tonight, they're doing the job. Mark Martin losing the spot to Jeff Gordon, I believe.
And Michael's in the same spot he was last night in the Busch race, and like he said after the Busch race, man, it is a lot of work running second place, and that's what he's going through right now.
Ken Schrader off the pace.
Oh, man.
Believe he might have cut down a right front tire when he came through the tri-oval, or something went wrong under the right front corner of his car because he started showing a lot of smoke, got up out of the way, and started slowing down. So either they've had a mechanical failure, or he's got a problem in the right front corner. Earnhardt Jr. has led 16 of the 86 laps that have been run so far. Kevin Harvick has led 53, but right now it's Dale Earnhardt Jr. leading NASCAR's Independence Weekend celebration. The All-American boy, his red, white, and black car out in front.
No help outside, all the help's inside right now. Still outside. Outside.
Junior's hold on the lead, being challenged to the Pepsi 400. Jimmie Johnson tried to ride the high line around Daytona.
I thought Johnson had him on turn two, but Junior somehow fought back down the back stretch and retook the lead.
Not over yet. Kevin Harvick trying to push Jimmie Johnson. Earnhardt Jr.'s teammate Michael Waltrip behind him. And that black car with the gold numbers on the inside, that's Kenny Wallace fighting for third spot. How about that draft with Harvick and Johnson, Dave?
Well, that might be a great idea. Earlier, I picked up a radio transmission from Jimmie Johnson that said, hey, the 29 just left me out to dry. I helped him earlier. And just a few moments ago, they were talking about hooking up to Jimmie Johnson with the 29 car. And they said to him, Jimmie, you just got to believe he'll go with you. Matt?
Dave, the reason he hung him out back at Daytona 500 and then again at Talladega, Kevin Harvick tried doing a deal with Jimmie Johnson. Johnson said he'd go with him, and then he hung him out. So it was payback time. Now Kevin Harvick is trying to get somebody, himself or Johnson, in between the 8 and 15. They feel like that's the only way you can beat the DEI guys is to get between them. That's the strategy now.
How about Spencer? He drove through that crash earlier, and here he is in the 6th position.
Started 40th.
And now you've got Jeff Gordon up there, so you've got Gordon and Jimmie Johnson as teammates. Kenny Wallace in the mix.
Looking back from Kenny Wallace on Jimmy Spencer. Wallace's car with the purple hood. There's Spencer in the light blue, number 7.
See, these guys don't forget. They don't forget about when you get hung out the last time. They'd say, oh, yeah, well, no, you come back, you remember the guys that helped you and stuck with you. Remember the guys that hang out.
What I find fascinating about you drivers is you can just about remember every lap of every race you've ever run and what happened in it.
Pressure tires are starting to come in
You
handy.
can remember when somebody hangs you out to dry, especially after you've helped them. That's a real slap in the face.
The intense racing up front has settled down for a bit. So
Jeff, Jimmie wants
5, now 6. Dale Earnhardt Jr. leads the 45th running with the Pepsi 400.
Well, I got a good car. I mean, my tires are good, so I can do anything. Car up in front of the 8, 3 cars up on the bottom. Until these guys catch us back here and get racy behind us, let's just ride right here. And boy, I was thinking the same. 2 more lap cars right here, buddy. Pit before we do. I'd like to lead a lap, and then we'll come after they pit.
Spectacular 4th of July weekend here in Daytona Beach, Florida. Daytona International Speedway is lit up for the holiday, lit up for the race fans across America, and lit up for these drivers. They continue to charge around this 2.5-mile track on the road to the championship. Dale Earnhardt Jr. currently 3rd in the Winston Cup Championship standings, just 2 points behind Jeff Gordon. But on the racetrack, he continues to lead. His car's just a little tight. He can go to just past lap 100. That's the leader. Let's see how far we can take you through the field before something happens. We'll go past the 8 to the 15 and Marty.
To his teammate Michael Waltrip, who's riding in second right now, and that's exactly what he's doing. He said, I'm just riding right now. The big strategy here, when will they pit? They could go to lap 104, maybe to 106, Dave.
The radio traffic for Jimmie Johnson, a little less contentious this time. They tell him, Jimmie, let's just ride. He says, I'm thinking the same. Bill?
Jeff Gordon came in under that last caution to get 4 tires and check possible damage. No damage, and the 4 tires are really starting to pay off. That's what he told Robby Loomis. Matt.
Bill, Kevin Harvick just jumped in front of Jeff Gordon, now up to 4th. Really no conversation about the way the car is handling, except the fact that they're looking around lap 104 to 105 to make their stop, Marty.
How about this run for Kenny Wallace, Matt? He's up to the 5th position, running very well, very happy with the car. They don't want to make any changes when they do come down pit road. Kenny's having a great time tonight, singing on the radio, Dave.
Jimmy Spencer having a great run too, has made few changes on that car tonight. Little aero push, little tight. He just missed that big that wreck off of turn 2. They came in, put on 4 tires, no changes. Bill?
Former Daytona 500 winner Ward Burton has virtually come from nowhere. Remember, he ran out of gas earlier in this race in turn 3. They had to push start the car. Then he thought he had a vibration. That went away. Now he's right up there inside the top 10. Good run for Ward again at Daytona, Marty.
Bill, Matt Kenseth sits in the 9th position, and if he wins this championship, he'll look at this night. He almost knocked down his pit crew members, barely missed the wreck, having a great run. Very happy with the car right now. Remember, he started 37th all the way up into the 9th position, Matt.
Rounding out the top 10 is 3-time Daytona winner Sterling Marlin. On 3 separate occasions, they have worked on that left front fender. It is good, but the car is still tight because of it. They're going to work a little more on their next stop, Alan.
And we're about to hit the 250-mile mark in the Pepsi 400. Dale Earnhardt Jr. leads. So far, 2 caution flags have slowed the night. Green flag pit stops coming up for the front runners, and on the lead lap, 33 of the 43 starters. Let's keep going through the field. Dave?
Alan, tonight for Ryan Newman, one big gripe: needs more grip. Now for Jeff Burton, they pitted just a little while ago, and Jeff said they pitted under that caution for the wreck. If they get to lap 118, I checked with their team, they're going to go for it and see if they can make it to the end. Mark Martin, his teammate as well, running behind him. We talked earlier about the fact that this isn't one of Mark's favorite things to do, running restrictor plates. Well, he's been doing a pretty darn good job tonight. He stayed out the last time because he had only 5 laps on his tires. He had pitted just moments earlier. Matt?
Bill Elliott just climbed up into the 14th position. They're looking and thinking about using the bottom lane. His chassis has been better since they've been working at it all night. It's been tight. He's just trying to find the fast way around to pick up a 5th win, Bill.
Nice solid run for Bobby Labonte. Good to see him running toward the front of the field. A lot of times he runs in the back of the pack at these restrictor plate races for the first half or 3/4 and tries to move himself forward. His renewed confidence, the way the team's running, and Michael McSwain, his crew chief, have him running up front. Upstairs.
Hey, what? That 18th slicing and dicing right now.
Man, he just blew right by Mark Martin.
And let's check out the front of the pack. A little shuffling going on. Earnhardt Jr. hanging on to the top spot, but behind him, well, here they come to pit road. Leaders coming in.
And Junior smoking those tires.
Jimmie Johnson beat him to pit lane.
Michael Waltrip, Ryan Newman, Tony Stewart, Elliott Sadler, all pitting. Marty.
I just asked Slugger Labby, why are you coming in 2 laps early? He said our strategy is not working out. Our fuel mileage advantage is not going to pay off tonight, Bill.
Junior couldn't believe he had to come in right now, but that was the opening of their window. They got to lap 104. Dave.
SpongeBob is in with Jimmie Johnson. 4 tires for him. No changes to the car this time. A little slow on the left rear, and now he's out of here.
Oh, man.
He may lose the captain partner on that deal, although he's got Ryan right there.
Ryan and Jimmie got 4 tires. The other guys, the other 4 in front of them, got 2. Kevin Harvick took over the lead when Earnhardt Jr. stopped. Now Harvick is on pit road, and he's by himself. Well, he's got 1 coming in behind him. It's Jeff Green.
But I don't think they're close enough to pick up a draft off each other when they lead the pits.
Matt?
And they lost their drafting partner, Robby Gordon, in that crash. 2 tire change this stop. No adjustments for Kevin Harvick. Trying to pick up his first restrictor plate win. They pack the fuel cell full. He nods it's full, and Harvick's down and away.
You see, normally the signal for these drivers to leave the pit area is when the drag jack drops. But now they're getting the car down, and the pit crew, the crew chief is telling him on the radio when to go.
Right.
That way he's able to rev the engine up and get the car really moving fast.
And when they drop the car and finish fueling too as well.
That helps put more fuel in the car.
Jeff Gordon heading for pit road. Kenny Wallace will come in. Ward Burton takes over the lead as we follow Gordon to the attention of his crew. Bill?
And Jeff Gordon brings it to a stop. They wanted to try and lead a lap before they came down pit road. Right side tires tear off from the windshield. Fuel coming in. Come around to the left side. Again, it's going to be 4 tires. And I believe the reason for this is Jeff said he felt the benefit of the 4 tires. They had to wait for fuel. Now he's on his way. And that $1 million car is trying to make the payoff in victory lane.
That's good pit stops. Boy, it's tough to lead these pits with these tall first gears.
I thought he lost a couple seconds trying to get out of his pit stall.
Yeah, no, he definitely. And the pit stop was great, but that's why these guys rev him up, because when they get going, they got to spin the tires, and it helps them leave the pits because these first gears are so tall in these cars.
Ward Burton, the 22 car, is the leader, but look who's trying to take the lead away. The 17 car of Kenseth. Wouldn't it be something if he started 37th and got 5 bonus points for leading the lap?
Got Mongo on his tail. He may just get those points, BP.
Boy, Mongo is chasing him hard.
Jimmy Spencer in that 7 car. Mark Martin is on pit road, and he's in by himself. I'll tell you what, if a lot of these guys start to check up the pit road all at once in this big pack, it could get really hairy on the race.
Yep. So he's got the 5 bonus points.
There you go. If If you're not familiar with how the NASCAR Winston Cup Championship works, if you lead a lap in the race, you collect 5 bonus points towards the championship. If you lead the most laps in the race, you collect another 5 bonus points. Marty?
And remember, Alan, they pitted a little bit later than most of the other teams did. They pitted on lap 75. They can actually go as far as lap 117. The problem is he's worked great tonight with Ward Burton. They've come up through the field together. Ward can only go to 116 to look for those two cars to come to pit road about the same time.
That's the problem. That leaves 44 to go.
That's right. Too many.
I don't know if they can run that many laps.
Getting to close up on some of the cars who just made pit stops and are trying to come back up to speed. Jimmie Johnson, Ryan Newman, and Jeff Gordon. So Gordon right now on the tail end of the lead lap. Matt Kenseth right behind him. You know, Matt Kenseth really has a remarkable record so far this season. Through the 16 races that have been run, he has finished all but one possible lap.
You know what, Billy? Matt's looking at Jeff Gordon right now. Some of those cars running. He would love to get by them. In case the yellow does come out, puts him a lap down.
Now, as you watch the ticker across the top of the screen with the running order, the cars whose drivers' names are being shown in yellow, they have made pit stops in this cycle. The names being shown in white have not yet stopped. So that's a way for you to keep track of who is running where as we go through the set of green flag stops. Matt Kenseth, Ward Burton, top 2 right now, Bill.
Boy, I'm just really impressed with the run for Ward. Crew Chief Frank Stoddard said his guy will be on pit road on lap 116. That's when they expect the 17 to come at the same time. He's going to be their partner. They wanted Jeff Burton to come at the same time, but Burton can't stay out this long. Marty.
Bill, like BP said, if they pit on 116, that'll be 44 laps to go. I just asked Robby Weiser, can you go all the way from that point? He said no, but we're close. Yesterday we ran 40 laps in half the hour, and there was a gallon and a half of fuel left in the fuel tank. That would put them right on the edge of it, but when you're running for a championship, you can't risk it, Bill.
I think a lot of guys are thinking about what happened here a year ago. Remember, this race finished under caution. That's happened here before. You may not need enough fuel to run 160 laps at full speed. Keep that in mind.
Remember that Ward Burton and Matt Kenseth both pitted at lap 75. That's 11 laps later than the cars who've already been in. Michael Waltrip and Dale Earnhardt Jr. and so forth. So that's the pad that's allowing them to stay out of the track. But also for Ward, 4 fresh tires he took on in helped him get up through the group. Matt Kenseth leads the Pepsi 400 at Daytona. You're watching NASCAR on NBC.
Lap cars got a pit. 10 more laps.
sight. Daytona International Speedway at night. And the 45th running of the Pepsi 400 charging on under the green flag before better than 160,000 NASCAR fans. It is Matt Kenseth leading. Now Bobby Labonte has moved up to second behind him. Jeff Burton running third. Shuffling up the running order just a bit here as we close in on a set of pit stops for these drivers. You've got Ward Burton back to fourth, Terry Labonte fifth, then Greg Biffle, Buckshot Jones, Ricky Rudd, Jimmy Spencer, and Kyle Petty. And now Jimmy Spencer is on pit road
NASCAR in-car on In Demand.
as Labonte chases Kenseth.
1-888-SPORTS-IN today.
Dave Burns, let's cover Jimmy Spencer's stop.
2 tires and no changes, Alan, for him. The admonition coming down pit road, pump your brakes, make sure they work. They did. They also said when the jack drops, you go. They're trying to get a little bit more fuel in there, though. See how far they can go. And he's gone.
46 to go is probably asking a little too much.
Can't do it.
Sounds like Matt's coming in. Trying to get the 99, it sounded like, to lead a lap. Got to get by Robby first.
Robby's one of his rivals for the championship. Robby is fourth in the standings coming in. Whereas Jeff Burton is 16th. Might not be worth giving Jeff 5 points if Bobby gets him. All right, here are the guys who stopped already, the previous leaders. Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Kevin Harvick and Michael Waltrip have got back together in the draft. And you see how far they are behind Matt Kenseth after the pit stops.
Almost a lap.
And Kenseth peeling off from turn 4 and heading for pit road. 44 to go.
Man, I don't know.
They're going to try. What do you think, Marty?
Well, Wally Robbie Reiser told me that earlier today that a win or a top 10 tonight would be just like a win for these guys. It's going to be 2 tires and no change for Matt Kenseth. They're very happy with the car, Bill.
It's 2 right side tires for Ward Burton as well. Waiting on fuel. The 17 goes. The 22 follows them. The plan was to pit together.
54 is running up high behind you there. He's in line
What do
with
you think, BP? Do you go? You're in the lead for the championship.
No, you can't gamble. You cannot gamble running out of fuel. Too many cars will end up getting by you. But Jeff Burton now is the guy that might gamble to try to make it.
We got 28 cars on the lead lap.
And here comes Burton.
You run out of fuel here at Daytona, you may not coast all the way back around, and if you do, you're going to lose a lot.
But if you got to stop, how are you going to lose anyway? Depending on how many these other guys got to stop.
There's a bunch of them right now, right? Junior and Michael Waltrip and Kevin Harvick, all those guys are going to stop.
This was about a lap and a half, maybe a lap earlier than they wanted to come. They wanted to make sure they didn't stall the car, run out of fuel, and have to refire it. But they said they're going to go for it, so we'll see. Backing it, holding it, getting all the fuel in there they can. And now he leaves 2 right side tires as well.
Bobby Labonte is now the leader after Jeff Burton's pit stop.
You're right, Benny. You know they're going to go for it.
Yeah, they got to go.
3 wide here for a
And
second.
they've got nothing to lose at all.
Now back to 2.
But Bobby Labonte is still out there, and he had to be another car to stop on lap 75.
That's right.
And he's still out there.
Clear with you. Clear with you.
Let me go check my notes.
Uh-oh. Alan's doing math.
No, not doing math. I just want to check when he stopped.
Check lap 75.
That's what I'm looking at. I don't see the number. Looking for the 18 here. No, you know what? He stopped on the 1 to go at the end of that caution and dropped off at 77.
Lap 77, you're right.
My handwriting's not the best.
He can do it. He can do it. Here he comes.
Bobby Labonte pitting, 41 laps to go when he crosses the start-finish line.
And he just ran 41 laps, so he can make it the rest of the way.
Here he comes, Bill.
You bet they can make it, and and they've got great coaching going on from the top of that pit box with Michael McSwain. Bobby Labonte on pit road, looking for a win here at Daytona. Around to the right side, they put on the 2 right side tires, and that's going to be it. They're going to pack it full of fuel. They get the nod from the gas man, and Bobby Labonte is on his way.
Here comes his brother right behind him.
And Greg Biffle, another car that can probably make it the rest of the way.
And the 4th car coming off pit road there is Ricky Rudd in the Wood Brothers car. He's probably good to the finish. So if those 4 cars can hook up, do a little work together.
I think Ricky is a little bit too far behind right now to hook up with the 3 guys that just left in front of him.
He better check his mirror. Here come the leaders.
In a hurry.
So Junior has gone back to the lead now after all these cars have made their pit stop.
Yep.
But he's got to stop again.
Right.
Yep. Boy, oh boy, 40 laps to go in this one. 100 miles left in the Pepsi 400. Rocking and rolling all night here in Daytona Beach.
The final 100 miles, we've got fuel mileage into the equation, and we've got some great pit work that has a different driver leading than we thought. Bobby Labonte, those guys maintain the lead. Terry Labonte, Greg Biffle, but Junior has passed these guys. He's up to second. Biffle third. Terry Labonte is fourth. But Bobby and Terry Labonte can go the distance on fuel. Junior cannot. Got to stop and turn around on fuel if this thing stays green. They need a caution flag. Check it out, the field summary for you. Just past 300 miles. 10 different drivers have led today. Kevin Harvick has led the most. Dale Earnhardt Jr. the second most. The rest of them basically have been shuffled here in green flag pit stops. Cars out of the race. Paul Slater, the only one officially retired from the event. It was an engine failure that sent Kenny to the garage. And the caution flags One at lap 64 when Daytona got tagged and spun off turn 2. Another at lap 75 when Kurt Busch cut a right rear tire, he says, off turn 2. 7 cars involved in the accident by the time it was done. All of the cars involved in the event made repairs and returned to the event, except for Mike Wallace and Robby Gordon.
Theirs are still in the garage. Bobby Labonte leads. Dale Earnhardt Jr. second. Greg Biffle third. Terry Labonte fourth. Michael Waltrip fifth. Kevin Harvick now just got shuffled back. He's behind Michael Waltrip in sixth.
Now Terry Labonte in the 5 car is going to get shuffled back as Michael gets alongside of him, and all these guys going to line up and try to go with Michael.
Take a look at our Chevy drivers' standings tonight with the Chevy leaderboard. You see they're doing fairly well. First, second, fourth, fifth, sixth. Not too shabby.
That Harvick looking to break out. I know he'd break out if he had somebody to go with him.
Terry Labonte is the guy that's getting shuffled right now. Yeah. Sterling Marlin, who is inside, pushing Terry another spot back. Fuel strategy is going to play into deciding who wins this one if we don't see the caution flag. And of course, it's Daytona. The tension grows in the closing laps. The big wreck still a possibility. 34 to go. And here comes Junior challenging Bobby Labonte for the race lead.
And he has all kinds of help. See him go up against Labonte and try to get him a surge to get by him.
Yeah, but Billy and I were talking about that earlier. If you drive right up against a guy's door as you're going to pass him, you get that surge. And we think that's air being forced into your cowl that helps you with some more horsepower just for that second.
Cowl being the opening up by the windshield on these cars where the air intake is. So Earnhardt Jr. is back out in front. 33 to go. You're watching NASCAR on NBC.
The Pepsi 400 from Daytona International Speedway on NASCAR In-Car on In Demand.
Rose up.
30 laps to go in the Pepsi 400. Changes in the running order. Michael Waltrip to third. Kevin Harvick to fourth behind Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Greg Biffle. Bobby Labonte getting shuffled back. Check our Walmart race fact. Last driver to win both Daytona races in the same year.
Bobby Allison, 1982. I was defeated both times that year.
and then the 500 in February.
All the way back.
Here's Michael being worked on by Kevin Harvick for third spot. Harvick is short one thing.
Help. No drafting aid for the 29 car.
Matt Kenseth in the middle of that group. Black car. What an impressive run for that team tonight. Mark Martin running back in 17th position at the moment. The Roush teammates all started pretty far back. They've all worked their way pretty far up front. Marty?
Done a pretty good job so far tonight, Alan. Of course, Daytona Beach is Mark Martin's hometown, and just down the road in New Smyrna Beach, he built a racetrack for little ones to race on, where his son Matt races bandoleros, legends cars, and quarter midgets at the track that Mark spent the money to build himself. Matt is just 12 years old, and already Ford has signed him to a contract. Talk about your NASCAR youth movement. If you haven't looked at Ford lately, look again.
Mark Martin, 17th position at this moment in the Pepsi 400. Bill.
With Tony Eury Jr., you're leading, but I don't think you're winning.
No, we're definitely not winning. We're in a bad situation right now, and we're going to try to make the best of it. The 18th kind of was in. Luckily, he was back there towards the back of that wreck, and we got like 4 of them that can make it. We're not going to be able to make it, so I'm going to stop here and put 2 tires on it, and hopefully these guys have to stop if the caution comes out, but caution's the only thing that we got going for us, you know. Right now, we're just kind of a sitting duck, but we're going to have to make the best of it, see what happens.
Tony, looking back, you probably should have come under that caution period.
Well, we couldn't make it. That's the whole reason we didn't fit. We lacked like 4 laps for making it all the way, and so it would do us no benefit to do it. So, you know, we're just stuck between a rock and a hard place, and this is what we got dealt.
And I need a little luck.
Yeah, need a little luck. We've had a lot of it this year. Can't complain. You know, Daytona's been great to us, and you know, we'll just take what we can get out of here.
Okay, they couldn't stop under the caution because it wouldn't have put them in their window anyway, so they stayed out, and now that strategy might be coming back to bite them, but they were in a lose-lose situation.
I was talking to Danny Earnhardt, Dale Jr.'s uncle, earlier in the week, and he said Tony Jr. that we just talked to and Dale Earnhardt Jr. this year, their communication has been spot on. Those guys have really worked together great this year.
It shows.
And it does show.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. third in the NASCAR Winston Cup Championship standings, coming into tonight's race, 176 points behind Matt Kenseth. Dale Earnhardt Jr. winning this race in 2001. What a memorable night that was. But right now he's in a bad spot, as you heard Bill and Tony Jr. say. Expecting Earnhardt Jr. in somewhere around lap 140. A little bit, about 6 laps to go before then, so let's take a break. You're watching NASCAR on NBC.
Outside. Go wide. Clear low. All clear. Outside. Outside. We're going to complete this one.
NASCAR's
They'll come in
all-American
next
stock
time by.
car
Coming
racing
in next time by.
celebration underway at Daytona International Speedway. Fireworks all weekend long here both on and off the track. It's the Pepsi 400 being led by Dale Earnhardt Jr. And we're about to hit the 350-mile mark of the race. So the challenge for third spot here.
Do right, so don't slide anything,
Over the
and
outside
leave it on the
comes
jack.
Jimmie Johnson. And Greg Biffle with a big wiggle off turn 2.
This is one in the middle. He's trying to block these guys, but guess what? Couldn't do it.
3,900 when you get here.
Line on both sides.
And really, don't you think BP would be better for Biffle to get out of this cut? Because when they start peeling off, he doesn't want to be in the middle of it.
Biffle has fuel. Here they come. Michael Waltrip down to Earnhardt Jr. coming to pit road with 21 laps to go. Waltrip passing Jr. as they come to the speeding line for pit road speed.
But Waltrip is going to pit first, so he has to slow down for his pit stall, and Earnhardt Jr. continues on. Here comes Ryan Newman, several cars. Marty.
Michael Waltrip very happy with the car, very upset about the fuel strategy. However, they're going to do the best they can. There'll be no changes again. 2 tires stalls it a little bit, Bill.
2 right side tires, a chassis adjustment, and fuel for Dale Earnhardt Jr. He may not be racing for the win now, but if you're an Earnhardt fan, he could be racing for the championship.
And Dale Jr. beat him out again.
Yes, he did.
His third time tonight. So how do they play out against the guys who have not stopped?
Well, Biffle's going to be out there the lone dog, I think. When all these guys start peeling off, he is in a good position. He's second on the racetrack.
Here comes Harvick.
The guys he's racing are going to be in the draft, and they may catch and pass him.
Harvick, Jimmie Johnson, Jeff Gordon, Kenny Wallace, Todd Bodine all pitting here. Matty.
And Kevin Harvick coming in. They're going to make a 2-tire change. Harvick says the car had gone to the loose side. They're going to back up on the adjustments they made in the last stop. As soon as the tires are on, they're going to drop the jack, and he's gone, Bill.
And Jeff Gordon heading down pit road after making his stop. 2 right side tires and fuel.
Jimmie Johnson was in and off pit road, 2 tires to the right side, a chassis adjustment just a little tight. He might win. He's got a fast car in his 4th start here at Daytona.
So Greg Biffle is now the leader of the Pepsi 400. Matt Kenseth runs second. We believe Biffle has the fuel to go to the distance. What about Kenseth, the second place car? Marty?
And Robby Reiser's on the radio with Matt Kenseth just now. Matt asks, are you sure we cannot go all the way? I want to beat those guys. Robby, will leading the points cost you a chance to win this race?
Well, I think so, because we could have maybe gambled a lap or 2 here, and we could have made it to the end, but with the point battle, we just couldn't take that chance. If I run them out of gas, we'd lose a lot more, so this was the way we had to go. It's a safe route.
When will you have to pit?
What about 3 to go?
Wow, 3 to go. They'll top off. He'll come down pit road. Now remember, Robby Reiser told me earlier this morning he feels like restrictor plate racing is by far the weakest part of their program. A top 10 tonight is as good as a win.
And what a break for Greg Biffle that his teammate can stay out there till 3 laps to go.
And we talked about this in the preview show, is these guys now are going to start thinking about this point championship. It's halfway through the season, and instead of gambling for the win, they're thinking points.
Question is, will he get a top 10 finish out of it even after he stops for the splash of fuel late in the race? Last commercial under green flag conditions before we see the checkers. Back to Daytona in a minute.
14 slow up top, get the 15 in your mirror here. All clear. 15 is also clear.
gasoline.
is in that pack.
But another pack of cars, including Jeff Gordon, have just made a green flag pit stop to take on the fuel that they need to go to the finish. Long ways behind. Gordon running in 20th place. And he is a good distance behind the race leader. You see Gordon's car carrying a different paint scheme tonight. Part of a Pepsi consumer promotion where 4 people from Ohio, Alabama, Florida, and Oregon could win a brand new Chevy Monte Carlo tonight. Jeff Gordon wins the race.
Pretty good incentive for them to root for Jeff Gordon.
It's Todd Line trying to work with Jeff and see if they can find a way around some of these cars in front of him.
I don't think they should be looking for the keys just yet on that one.
I don't think so, huh?
I tell you what, those guys are pushing and shoving it.
Yeah, did you see Earnhardt push Jimmie Johnson?
Gordon turned 3, little bump draft.
Harvick and Johnson did pass Earnhardt Jr. and Waltrip a moment or two ago during the commercial break. But again, these guys, if they get a caution, they're going to be contenders for the win. If they don't get a caution, then Greg Biffle, Bobby Labonte, Ricky Rudd, and Terry Labonte. Those are the guys that stopped late enough that we know they're good to the finish on gasoline.
And they're kind of scattered out, aren't they?
Yeah.
You've got Biffle.
Biffle's first. Labonte's 6th. Rudd is 11th, and Terry is 12th.
But there's space in between them.
And we just told the story about Matt Kenseth and his potential fuel stop with 3 to go. Marty, you got more?
Well, just don't let it be said that Matt Kenseth is championship racing. He's asked Robby Reiser twice now to go refigure the fuel mileage. He wants to win this race. So Robby's climbed down the ladder twice, gone to Dave Toronto, the guy who figures the fuel mileage for the 17 bunch, and he said every time we cannot do it. The voice of championship reason is Robby. He said, Matt, we're going to have to pit.
And that decision made all the more difficult because this is Daytona.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And he's sitting there looking at it going, man, I can taste it.
I mean, it's what? 2 car lengths in front of him, the checkered flag. If you could get by Biffle, oh, man.
Ooh. Oh, check this out. 3 deep around the David Green lapped car. And these guys back here, Harvick is running 15th. So this is 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th.
But you're right, if the caution flag should come out, it might be the race for the lead and the win.
Dale Jarrett's just been on and off pit road for his final stop. Sterling Marlin is in now. So thin that lead pack by a couple more as Michael Waltrip tries to fend off Jimmie Johnson.
Comes Todd Bodine in to join this race.
All right, let's go back up front. Greg Biffle, we believe, good to go to the finish on fuel.
Well, he's got to run 41 laps, and I believe that he ran 41 laps the last time. Randy Goss has got to be beside himself, the crew chief for Greg Biffle. Jimmy Spencer peels off. He's coming to pit road.
Now, here's what we talked about. We got 4 cars in the draft, and Bobby Labonte by himself.
Yeah, can Biffle pull away from Labonte? Can these guys help him do that?
Right. That's what we talked about, being scattered out. That draft, those 4 cars are running a lot quicker than Bobby by himself right now.
This could be big, Wally. Could be real big.
Elliott Sadler there in the 38 just in front of Biffle. He's already made that splash and dash pit stop at 139.
And that's going to help him even more. That's what Biffle wants. That's perfect.
That's exactly what he needed. Somebody that could go the rest of the way to get in front of him and tow him along.
And same for Tony Stewart. He stopped on the same lap that Elliott Sadler did. Ward Burton, Bill, what do you got on him?
I just want to try and make it a little bit more confusing. I talked to his crew chief, Frank Stoddard. He said based on their first calculations, the 22 car could not go to the finish on their last stop. He said based on their last run, they'll be about a half a lap short. So he's not sure what he's going to do, but if he's half a lap short, he'll be running out on the track, I believe.
I believe you're right, Bill.
You know, the last lap, Bobby Labonte ran as fast as Greg Biffle. But I don't know if he can keep that up. He's pedaling as hard as he can to keep up with this group as we watch Jeff Burton, Ward Burton.
And we look ahead to the race leaders.
Labonte is, I mean, he's almost able to get something off these cars to keep up. Check the this time by. He, once again, ran the same speed as Biffle.
Wow, that's surprising. Well, like you said, Benny may be close enough to be catching a draft off him.
Here goes Biffle by the 38 car. Kenseth is going to go with him.
Got 3 Fords there, and if there's a little branding work there with Elliott Sadler running in behind Biffle now. If Greg Biffle's name is new to you, he's from Vancouver, Washington, just across the river from Portland, Oregon. Started out local racing in the northwestern part of the country. Liked it so much he developed a business building race car chassis and parts. Got discovered by old BP.
I saw him at Tucson at Winter Heat. And here's a kid that came down there, never seen the racetrack, sat on the pole, led all 150 laps, and as you said, 25 years old and built race cars for a living. I said, what a package this is. And Labonte is back there. He's caught up with this crowd.
Wow.
Man, my hat is off to Bobby Labonte. He pedaled hard to catch this group.
So you got the rookie, Greg Biffle, in his first year of NASCAR Winston Cup racing, and the former champion Bobby Labonte, who has never won at Daytona. He's finished second here twice, has Labonte. He's not taken the trophy.
Matt Kenseth, the 17 car, he's still in there in second spot, but he has got to make a pit stop. Oh! Tony Stewart on the inside of
Ryan Newman.
That was close.
Those guys are racing for a position. They're racing for 23rd and 24th. Tail end of the lead lap.
Here we go. These guys get side by side here. Bobby Labonte may make a move right now.
Trying to squeeze his way back up in the draft. Kenseth jumps in behind him.
Bobby may just pull it off right here.
Here comes Bobby. And also Labonte has his teammate in front of Greg Biffle now. I don't know how that's going to play out.
Bobby Labonte around Matt Kenseth. Now right in behind Greg Biffle for the race lead. 5 laps to go at Daytona.
Now we'll see Samir driving.
Bobby Labonte, the 2000 NASCAR Winston Cup champion, driving for Coach Joe Gibbs, has had tremendous struggles in these races at Daytona and Talladega this year.
Here comes Matt.
Kenseth is waving to the car behind him. He's got to go make a pit stop, telling Elliott Sadler. Matt, what do they say? What's Randy Gosnell's guy saying?
Something just flew off the 31 car, Benny, coming down the front straightaway. They also told the 16 of Biffle that the 17 is peeled off, so Bobby Labonte won't have any help. You're going to have to go it alone. Keep your eyes on that mirror.
We remain under green.
You're right.
NASCAR spotters around the racetrack, not calling in any debris. And the race stays at full speed as the championship leader pits. Meantime, Bobby Labonte looking outside. No help.
No help. That's the problem Bobby's got right now. He doesn't have anybody to help push him by Biffle.
Elliott Sadler has dropped off that lead group. What about Tony Stewart? He's Bobby Labonte's teammate, the first car in that line.
Well, if maybe Tony moved up the racetrack, he might be able to help Bobby, but the problem is if he does that, he'll lose the position of Ryan Newman.
How about experience versus inexperience here? Bobby's been in so many of these races, Greg is not. Can Bobby force him into a mistake?
Got to be worth something, that experience. That time he moved high up in 3 and 4. Biffle, again, mirror driving, moved up to block that move.
Less than 3 laps to go.
Whatever
Biffle slides up a little bit.
Whatever Biffle does, Bobby will do the opposite. And I think you're right. He could force him into, if he makes him run down low, then he'll try to shoot up on the outside and get beside him. If he does that, then I think Tony will move up the racetrack or down the racetrack to help the 18 car draft by.
But we're not going to see anything like Tony Stewart sliding up, dropping back behind Bobby and trying to push him around in this last lap or two.
Should have done it by now if he was going to do it.
Coming down. Just a couple to go.
But I think Tony will start moving around the racetrack a little bit.
came up the ladder the NASCAR way. Started racing at the local NASCAR sanctioned tracks, went to the regional touring series in the Northwest and Southwest, then became the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series champion after hooking up with Jack Roush. On to the NASCAR Busch Series, champion there 1 year ago.
And if the caution flag should come out now, the race is over. They will not red flag this race with less than 5 laps to go.
Matt, what about Biffle?
The guy calling the race from the spotter stand for Greg Biffle is Joel Edmonds, who last night was calling the race for Michael Waltrip. They came home second. He's telling him, keep it on the bottom. The 18 will try you high, but just keep it on the bottom. He has no help.
Ward Burton is on pit road out of gas. White flag is in the air. Final lap. Are we seeing a rookie breakthrough at the biggest track of all? Or can Bobby Labonte get a run and Labonte slow down? Is Labonte out of gas?
He's out of fuel.
Bobby Labonte's come up dry.
He's definitely out of fuel.
Now Biffle can try and breathe it and make sure he has enough because it's a long way back to Jeff Burton, 3 seconds. What an upset this is going to be. Final corner for Greg Biffle. There'll be a celebration in the Pacific Northwest tonight. There's his girlfriend Nicole. For Jack Roush, Greg Biffle is going to score a win at Daytona in just his 23rd NASCAR Winston Cup start. Greg Biffle wins the Pepsi 400. How about Greg Biffle? First time winner this season. Just his 23rd Winston Cup start. He's a winner at Daytona. Huge.
Long way from Vancouver, Washington.
Bobby Labonte coasted all the way across the start-finish line to finish 5th. So that won't cost him any championship points. Remember, he's one of the players for the title coming into the race. And despite the fact that it was Chevrolets that did most of the leading all night, Matt, a Ford wound up taking the checkered flag.
The NASCAR Truck Series, the Busch Series, now Winston Cup. Congratulations, Randy.
Unbelievable, unbelievable. I'm just so proud of the guys. Thank you. Thanks, bud. Just so proud of everybody. I don't have to tell you, we've been struggling. The Granger team's been struggling. It's been hard here for us in Winston Cup. We're used to winning. I just want to thank everybody that stuck behind us. Our fab shop, especially our engine shop, our guys in Michigan, they just dig hard for us. And all the guys back at the shop, especially my team. I've worked a lot of my guys 7 days a week since we started. They just never, ever even complained about it. Just really appreciate it.
How special to pull it off here at Daytona, Randy? This is the biggest one.
Well, it's hard for me right now because we've been struggling so much. We qualified 30th, and you have to get everything just right. My engineer, Dave Winston, I run us out of gas at Sears Point, and now we're gambling on the gas. It works out for us, but it's a tough position.
41 laps on fuel for the former national motorcycle champion. Now he's going to Winston Cup victory lane.
Bill?
I just want to tell you, Greg Biffle said you'll have to tell me where victory lane is. I don't know. He just found it. And this will be a wild scene.
Yes, it will. Greg Biffle scoring the win at Daytona tonight over his teammate Jeff Burton. A Roush Racing sweep of the first and second spots. Ricky Rudd, Terry and Bobby Labonte rounding out the top 5. For Dale Earnhardt Jr., had to make the extra stop on fuel. He finishes 7th.
Congrats, Greg. Ready to get me out? Not yet. Tell me when. Remember all the good stuff, Biffle.
Getting all the instructions.
All the victory lane stuff.
All right, Bill, take it away.
Well, he's been to victory lane a number of times before, but this is his first in the Winston Cup Series, and it comes at Daytona, the sport's most famous track.
Wish they'd show some emotion, huh?
Congratulations.
Thanks. I tell you what, that I can't say enough about Matt Kenseth. That guy, there isn't words to explain how he made me win this race tonight. I mean, he backed off to 18 there, and if he had stayed up with him, he'd have pushed him by, and then they were going to go by us on the back stretch, and Matt pulled down and sacrificed the spot for a win for me. And I tell you, these Granger guys have worked so hard. Everybody, can't say enough about Roush Racing and Ford. This Ford Taurus, really loose, but really fast.
You're a long way from tiny Tucson, Arizona tonight.
Yeah, I am. I just wish that my mom and dad and my brother could be here for my first Cup win and say hi to them back home, and everybody's helped me get here. It's meant a lot to me.
How did you get here, Greg?
This man right here.
It's tough, buddy. It's really tough. You can do it.
Yeah. Here's the actual team owner right over here, the 16 car, Jeff Smith. These guys are just, we've had a lot of ups and downs and a lot of downs lately, you know. Ran out of gas, running 9th to 10th, and got involved with Tony Stewart a few times there and got the short end of the stick. But, you know, these guys would just never give up, and here we are.
Okay, now hang on just a second. I want you to put on this headset, and there's somebody that wants to congratulate you, and you'll probably recognize this voice.
Hey, Biffle, good job.
Thanks, BP. Hi all to you, buddy.
Man, it's been a long time since Tucson, Arizona, hasn't it?
Man, it has, and without your help, getting me hooked up with Jack Roush and everybody out in Tucson, all my buddies, John Sewell and John Baker, everybody's helped me out in Tucson get here tonight. Means a lot to me.
I told Jack Roush 5 or 6 years ago you could get the job done. I wondered, but you finally have proven me right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It was just a pit call by Randy Goss tonight and the team, and last minute I dove down pit road to get that extra bit of fuel. That was kind of my decision, his decision, and it really worked out for us tonight. Didn't work out last week, but it paid off tonight.
Okay, you owe me a big dinner, all right?
Hey, you bet, BP.
Greg Biffle, congratulations on your first Winston Cup win. Enjoy it.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.